Yeah. Send that over my way. It might take a year to get over here, but with our supply chain issues.
Oh yeah, I'll drop ship it to you from someone in the US.
That's good, buddy. Looking forward to it next year for Christmas.
Okay.
What's up, boys? Got Carlos,
Yo,
Jaden.
what's up?
Got a nice little crew today. Unfortunately, woke up a little bit late. It happens. So anyway, let's look at GJ over here. Again, we're bouncing off our level of 149. The weekly candle, very strong, right? Very strong bullish candle with a top wick. Obviously, we've been retracing a little bit after creating that high on Sunday. So now we're getting that retracement and that that top wick formed over here. Looking at the daily over here, the daily is a little wacky over here. So we bounced off this level, 149, strong bullish candle. This candle ended up passing the high of the previous candle right away over here, and then snapping back, rejecting this whole level right over here. Let me actually get these tools out. Rejecting this whole level right here, right? This is a strong resistance. The next candle ended up creating a top wick and passing the low of that candle right over there as well. The only thing is, this level of 149 is such a strong level over here. I mean, we could very well break through it, right? There's no doubt that we could break through that. But after the little bounce back that we got today, I could see us like bouncing into this area and starting to hold the support to then continue right back up, especially if we get some good data coming out of Great Britain over here with GDP or anything like that. So it looks like we ended up passing the low of that candle, but then snapping right back up from a certain area down here. We'll take a look at what that is. What's up, Miles?
Hey, what's up, man?
How are you?
I'm doing good, brother. How about you?
Awesome. Doing better now. Yeah, I apologize, guys. I love how like the one day my alarm doesn't work out, everyone's like in the chat going crazy. Okay, so we got Geo in here too. Let's go. Good crowd over here. So again, we just bounced into this level, this previous support over here. This is actually where Geo got his buys from over here. So now we just tapped into that area. Could this be a wick to fill or a rejection wick to start continuing right back up, where it's kind of like we bounce off 149, and a lot of people, especially a lot of beginner traders, think like once you bounce off 149, you're going to start, bouncing off and going bullish from there indefinitely. But a lot of times it likes to get that second tap, like that double bottom, before it continues right back up. So could this be something like that, where we're going to, continue to reject this level and then start to slowly start to form this bullish pattern to continue up and pass some of these price points? We could get that. But let's see if we close below this level, because obviously this is a very significant support over here. Multiple rejections to the left over here. Got a couple right here, and then multiple right here. And this is the 4-hour time frame. So you know that 150, I would say 150 is a very strong level over here. So let's clear this out. 1 hour. Okay, so we ended up closing below over here. This is a nice little formation over here. Only thing is, this is in the consolidation, and it started in consolidation instead of, breaking, closing below, and then this formation was right here. Got a couple guys coming in, just popping out. BRB sounds good, Gary. So again, we just rejected this whole level over here. We could be bouncing off this level and then continuing right back up. But again, we're right back into this range. We get a strong bullish candle closing right back in here. This candle pushing down probably faked a lot of people out, thinking that we were going to come down and fill that wick on the 4-hour. But we ended up pushing all the way down here and then flipping bullish almost. Didn't flip bullish yet. We got about 6 minutes left for the hour to close. So let's see if we close back into this range right here, which is typically what we don't want to be in. Did anybody, before we hopped on, did anybody grab this move right here during London or pre-New York?
Nah, man, I missed that.
Okay, cool. What's up, Carlos?
What's up? What's up?
How are you, buddy?
Feeling great. How about you?
Good, man. So what I'm looking for right over here is for if this candle closes a bearish candle, the next one creates a top wick and then flips bearish, we may be able to take this down to fill this wick and continue right back down. But if this candle closes back into this range, I'm going to be staying out of it and maybe waiting for this whole rejection to complete, us to get a price above 150, 600 over here to continue right back up, because you got a clean move here and you got multiple wicks or many pips that you could grab, about 60 pips right back up to 151, 200. This previous area over here as well. See, price action over here is a little wacky, right? You can't really tell where we're going. We are in a downtrend. We're in a multi-week downtrend over here as well. Right? So what could we be getting over here? And what did we point out yesterday? Could we be getting a rejection over here? Price holding support, right? Maybe we get another rejection where price comes down into here and taps into 149, and then we start bouncing off and continue right back up into this level. Because as you guys see over here, we ended up tapping into this trend line after a consolidation. So we're tapping off of major support over here. We could also start rejecting this level over here and start coming bullish over here and then tap into this area over here before a little consolidation at this trend line to then continue down. Little consolidation at this trend line to continue down, or we start breaking up with a clean move to the left right over here to then start driving up again from this strong level of 149. See, there's multiple things that you could see here. You're just waiting for the candles to close and you're staying disciplined with the trades that you take, because this is, you're in a major range over here. We are bouncing off a hard level and we could be testing that again, but everything is kind of 50-50. Everything is like printing sideways. There's no clear direction on GJ. There's no, healthy trend over here. It's all just kind of sideways. So you got to be careful with the way you trade in here and the decisions that you make. Over here, as you guys can see, we are flipping bearish over here. The 30-minute candle. Is this the 30-minute candle? Oh yeah, 7:30. Okay, so 7:30-minute candle is now flipping bearish over here. Could we be filling this wick? I'm waiting for the 1-hour candle to close. Let's see how the 1-hour candle closes. It looks like we're going to be closing out of this range, which is good. We're printing lower highs over here. So let's see how this 1-hour candle closes. Right back out of the range. And maybe we could continue right back down. Just know this is a very strong level down here. And this is maybe a trade. If you do take this sell, this may be a trade where you're waiting for, or not waiting for, but you're going to be securing most of the position once it reaches a certain point. Maybe like this support right over here. Because you see this wick, you see these candle bodies over here as well. Anyone have any questions or things that they want to add?
Maybe on the next 1-hour candle, if it kind of creates upper wick.
Yeah.
Because it's a kind of creepy area. I would be trading in this. There is a potential correction of this Pfizer news move, but who knows? We're generally in a downtrend for a few days or so.
We're definitely in a downtrend on the higher time frames and the lower times over here. But again, you just got to keep this level in mind, 149, and the fact that we're printing sideways. So this is something, if you don't want to trade in, by all means, I commend you for it. I think that's it's smart, just because it is moving sideways, but you do have clean moves within this range over here. See, I always talk about some ranges that are okay to play. This might be one of them. But you got to be selective. You can't be trading in this. You got to wait for ranges like this, right? Where you could grab these little moves over here. But there's a lot of indecision on GJ right now, especially waiting for GDP to come out in 2 days. All right, so the 1 hour candle is going to close in a minute. I'm looking to see if the next 1 hour candle respects the high of the previous 1 hour candle, or the two 30-minute candles respect the high of the previous 30-minute candles, and we continue to drive right back down. Maybe passing the low of this candle right here. Let me see how many pips we have. Oh, yeah, we got plenty of pips. So that could be a good entry over here. But
maybe if this thing creates a wick, so on a flip.
Also, I think we should clear this area too. Right? Because we keep bouncing off that level over here multiple times with this level over here as well. Sexy candle. Oh, is that Giovanni? iPhone 13? Got our boy back? I don't know if he could speak. Yes, sir. I love it. My man Giovanni. All right, so let's see if we keep ranging in here. To me, again, this is a hard rejection down here. This is why I'm a little worried of taking the sell. Very strong bullish wrong arrows. Very strong bullish candle right here. And then you get a support formed right here. And price kind of tapping the highs over here and kind of rejecting with this candle. Everything's kind of like all over the place. So I really just want to wait for like a close below this whole level right here. If you're going to take anything, it's very tricky in this area. This is where you would lower risk and just be smart. But I do like the ranges. I like how much volume we have right now. So this move happened during London and pre-New York over here. And nobody caught this? If not, no big deal. It's gonna be plenty more opportunities. I'm curious if anyone did. All right, so this is cool. The 1 hour candle, no bottom wick right now. Yeah, I think we could definitely get this wick fill if we pass the low of that candle. We just need to clear this area. And with the 8 o'clock volume, you may have that volume that pushes us through and we retest that area. Again, our theme all week has been risk management. So when you're in a trade like this, just know that you're focusing on capital preservation over accumulation or appreciation. Stipe, how you doing this morning?
I'm great.
Good to hear.
Finally got up for the London Open. Haven't slept. So and got that move, but kind of stopped me out for a bit and then hit my.
Oh, that's right. Let's take a look at that. You sent the Pfizer chart. I'm looking for the one that you sent. Actually, this candle is starting to flip bearish over here. So maybe we'll do that in a second. The key's ready. Possible wick fill. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. I passed the low of this candle right over here. Get our tool ready. I'm not in this yet. That's why it's over here. And then I'll move it over here once we're in. And I'll bring the MetaTrader over. I really don't like this price action. No. Does this appeal to anybody after this rejection?
Yes.
It does? What's up,
Yeah.
Jaden?
What up, bro?
Oh, man. So what are you looking at then, Jaden?
Go ahead and hop to the 5 minute. So go to the Slack and go to London, or I think it was London session.
Taking forever for some reason. Oh, that was your last thing.
I think I posted a GJ chart. Let me check.
This is all today so far. Stipe, Gary, I think Peter was in there.
Oh, and analysis and breakdown.
Okay. Oop. Look for opportunities for GJ buys. Yep. Well, this is 8 hours ago. Okay. So you were looking for a tap over here, which is what we got, right? Of 600. Is that 600? Yeah. So this area over here to the left, you're looking for that tap and then price continuing right back up. Kind of what I was saying with the double tap, double bottom.
Well, I posted that before the move you just asked if anyone was interested in.
Yeah.
And so once I saw that it did reject off the order block, I'm just waiting for it to retrace and come mitigate, so I can get back in for a long.
Okay. Now looking at the live chart, what are you planning right now after what just happened?
Go back to the smaller time frame.
Want me to scale or anything?
All right, I'm looking for it to come back and retest that red candle.
Okay. This red candle right here?
Yep.
Okay. Why is that?
Oops, hold on. Because that's the last sell before the manipulation happened. So that means that the smart money unloaded a bunch of shorts right there, and so in order to get a bunch of people's stop losses hit, and then hence that long wick, and then it shot up and took all that momentum to the upside and leaving a bunch of their sell orders in drawdown. So they're waiting. So they're going to come back and close out at break even and then continue higher, or just come and close their positions and continue lower from that order block.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I love hearing different perspectives on the market. Just like what people are thinking, where their heads are at.
I have a question. That vaccine news, when did that come out? It was like 6:30 or something.
Yeah, let's take a look at that because
if you look at gold has been dropping. I think it was 6:30 when it came out, and if I see correctly, after that we dropped quite fast. And if you look at GJ, the move up, I mean, as I'm not great at fundamentals, but as far as I know, GPY is a safe haven currency.
yes.
And with the vaccine news coming out, that would be less demand for GPY, which
Yeah.
would weaken the yen, which is why it shot up like that. I don't know like how long that effect lasts, so I'm not sure like whether we are continuing up because of that news. But what I do see is that, well, we did shoot up, and on gold we dropped because gold is also a safe haven currency, and with the news coming out, the dollar would be there would be less demand for gold, and then price would drop. So I'm not sure like how long the effect is like gonna last, how long we're gonna go up or down on gold or GJ. But I would look more towards the upside on GJ myself, just because we had that news and we had that move up. We, I mean, it like corrected the move a little bit to the left, as you just showed. But
Yeah.
I would say it would continue going up. When looking at the price action, as you just said, there is a messy zone above where price is now. So we'll see how it's going to react to that. And I would personally look more towards the upside and see if I can take some entries on a good.
Yeah.
good
Plus, when you're looking at that JXY chart, you see that big gap. It wants to.
Yep.
It needs to come fill. So that could be the move I'm looking for. The drop before the big buy that you're saying.
That's a great point too, Peter. Because if you look at gold as well, gold dropped at 6. That happened at 6, and this happened around 6 as well. This low liquidity grab before heading right back up. So let's see when that actually came out, the actual time that came out. Hour and 11 minutes ago. So right around 7. Was that when it actually came out? Let's see. 3 vaccine doses, neutralize Omicron variant. Of course they want you guys getting another one. 2-dose vaccine is much 2-dose vaccine is much less effective. Anybody questioning any of this? No?
You mean the vaccine, like the?
Just the corporate part of the vaccine, if that makes sense.
I don't know really.
Yeah, like the money making part for sure. I saw a video yesterday that was like from a credible source. It was on the news, and someone in a doctor in South Africa was talking about how the Omicron variant is more transmissible, but it's a way less severe, like
lethal.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I mean, like I know the big pharma business is like it's a massive industry. So I mean, they're obviously incentivized just to get people to, to make those vaccines so that they can make more money.
Not only that, but this is a multi-billion-dollar corporation that has been involved with many billion-dollar lawsuits for any kind of things that they've put out. Moderna as well. Like these aren't saints of the world that are saving the world right now. These are people that all they really care about is money. That's just my personal opinion. Don't take that and run with it. But I find it very hard to trust a corporation that's very tied with the FDA, and all of a sudden the FDA releases everything, but they don't release the data, and they say they're not going to release the data until 2080. So if you're not going to release the data for the American people or the global economy or the global population to look into this before they take it, that's going to raise some questions, and it's going to make a lot of people not want to take it until 2080.
I didn't even know that. They said that they're not going to release they're not going to release any information about the vaccine until 2080.
Let me see. FDA. COVID vaccine data. FDA wants to wait 55 years. This is Reuters. Request over vaccine data. So who is it? the head of the FDA or something was the CFO or something of Pfizer now, the new appointed FDA official. Like a lot of these people are interconnected, and that's kind of expected as well, just because of the industry that they're all in, kind of like how some people go from politics to the news. And if you're in politics, let's say like Kayleigh McEnany got a job with Fox. Now she has like a huge deal with Fox now as a contributor. It could be the same thing just because they're all in the same industry. But at the same time, it's like, okay, of course they're going to push the go ahead for the Pfizer vaccine because they're all tied together. It's just a conflict of interest, and it makes people question some things. That's all. But when you don't want to release the data for 50 something years, like what do you expect people to think? It's all head scratcher. Little baby apes. So again, we're kind of just ranging around here on DJ, trying to figure out where we want to go. Also, we were looking at the 5-minute over here. The 5-minute, this is why we use these lower time frames, are creating these higher lows. Hold on. So we keep creating these higher lows. We do have higher highs as well. And that's why we're kind of in a range or lower highs. So price needs to break out of some of these areas, at least this one right over here, to continue down before we continue right back up. But let's say our main bias changes to bullish, which, it might not be changing for some people. Some people, mine has been pretty bullish since bouncing off 149 over here. So is this our higher low from 149 to start continuing right back up? I think safer buys are going to be clear of this range. Once we break this area, we could be continuing right back up to 151, 200. Right? And again, on these higher time frames over here, we could be rejecting this area and continuing right back up to retap into this trend line again to then continue down possibly. Tried to get in at a couple of beef drops, but didn't get it. Are you guys talking about NFTs? They interest me, Jaden. The whole concept and everything. You know what I was watching the other day? It came up on Instagram. Is a lot of like news anchors and stuff like that back in like 2000 talking about the internet. And it's very, very, very similar to how people are talking about NFTs and crypto right now. It's just interesting to watch. What's up?
I agree. I've been like thinking about this very hard the last few weeks of how do I like
capitalize.
Well, I've just been thinking about like ideas that the metaverse is good, like it's going to happen. Just like thinking about how the web took over, and now this is Web 3.0, and so, I just you want to hear my idea?
Of course.
You can't tell anyone.
Always. Yeah, it stays here.
All right. I'm going to talk to some people I know who are actually able to develop something like this before, so I don't want to post about it or anything, but basically, do any of you guys know what REITs are? Real estate
of course.
Investing
Trust,
yeah. So that brought a whole new world of investing to the real estate world when they came out, and they show a better dividends than stock returns. And so you see like in the metaverse, all these games that are like they're creating these worlds like Sandbox and stuff like that. And they're selling plots of land for stupid amounts of money. And so I feel like creating virtual REITs will be a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, that's something I would put a little money into. Because like I love REITs. I think REITs are, the fact that you can own, just like you can own a stock of a business, you can own a trust of real estate of, let's say, a portfolio of 100,000 apartment buildings, stuff like that, and you don't have any worry whatsoever as far as having to deal with them. Basically, same thing with stocks with the company. You don't have to deal with the company; you just own shares of it.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking about like all the old money who, they're hearing the words NFT, investing in NFTs, digital arts, and they're not even attracted to it at all. But if they hear, they see a virtual land or building that sells for this much, and then they see the word REIT, I think it's more attractive.
Yeah. Yeah, no. 100%.
And then it's a low barrier to entry for people to get into the metaverse, because now like these top games, you try to buy any of these NFTs associated with them, they're just, it's impossible because they're so expensive.
My only thing with all this, and you could probably help me out with it, our baseball is full of NFTs, I'm sure, dude. Did you go, Giovanni, by any chance? I know you live in Miami. But my whole thing with all this is the metaverse, right? There's never going to be a scarcity of anything because you can always just create these. Like, let's say you want to buy a car in the metaverse. You could just keep creating these cars.
No, it's the same. It's the same thing. Concept is like saying you could just keep creating Bitcoins.
Bitcoin, yeah.
So it's not. It's the NFT. The beauty behind NFTs and putting, a blockchain behind them is creating that authenticity. Can't say that word.
Authenticity
and like security.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, we're starting to get past the low over here again.
There's definitely a lack of understanding for sure. The more I dive in, the more I realize the potential. Because like it's not, I'm not really interested in any NFTs that is just like I own this NFT and that's what has value. Like Logan, like I like NFTs with utility is what I'm saying. And so,
wait, were you about to say Logan Paul?
Huh?
Were you about to say Logan Paul?
Yeah.
Because I was watching him with what's his face, Peter Schiff, talking about this.
Yeah, when I was saying that he's an idiot for that, he was actually a freaking genius.
Ooh, oh, Logan Paul?
Because he was like one of the first influencers to start talking about it.
Oh yeah, he's so into it.
But anyways, they can create scarcity by when there's benefits behind, like utility behind owning NFTs, then it's desirable to own those NFTs. And then so what they'll do, like for example, I own 2 from this company called Minty Swap, and they have a video game. They have their own swap website, like Uniswap kind of, and so they have all this utility behind being an owner of one. And then as they drop, there's 10,000 pieces, and the drop is tomorrow. They've already released 1,000, so 9,000 will be released tomorrow. And then they'll have an option for if you own 2, you can burn them, and that's a staking option. So now there's less created once you burn them because they'll never come back, and you're locked into a staking option which provides APY. I don't know. It's probably confusing when I say it all, but it's totally worth looking into.
It's very intriguing.
It's the future for one, and 2, like we're right at the beginning where even if you know nothing, I knew nothing, and a week later I knew how to start getting in the game. You just have to do your own research.
Oh, of course, 100%. My literally only concern with this is, a lot of the people that are in this market, right, are traders, So if you look at it from that sense, what's the vicious cycle that most traders go through or most business owners go through? That vicious cycle is the cycle of, let's say you get into something. Let's say it's Forex. Let's say you guys all started trading Forex, right? Which is what you guys have done. You start trading Forex. All of a sudden, you're not 100% committing to Forex. You're not like all the way in. You're not all the way in. And all of a sudden, you start to doubt the Forex market. You start to doubt, like, all the endless possibilities with the Forex market, what you could actually do with it. And when you start to do that, you start putting the blame on the market instead of yourself for not 100% committing to it. And the way I look at all this stuff is, for those people, this is just another distraction, because once you start getting uncommitted from that one thing, you start diving into something else. You start diving into NFTs now. You start diving into crypto. You start diving into all that stuff. Then all of a sudden, you don't commit to that as well, 100%. And you just start going backwards, right back into that cycle again. And that's,
I agree with you 100%. The only thing that I look differently with this is I kind of see it in the light of like choosing to not learn how to use a computer.
okay, yeah, like you're saying, comparing it to the internet.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
yeah.
like like grandma saying, I don't want to learn the touch screen. Rather than looking at it as a whole new like investment vehicle, which it is obviously. So I see your standpoint on that, is there's a lot to learn, and we want to focus on getting this down first.
Yeah.
I'm just like looking at it long term, like it's happening no matter what.
Yeah. I'm not saying, I'm not saying the commitment part. I think like you're fully into it. Like this is your passion, it seems like, which is awesome. My thing is, again, like, just people bounce around from one thing to the other, and they never actually like get the grasp of what they first started learning because they only didn't commit.
For sure.
Now, with what you're talking about, I think being fully involved and also just like understanding and wanting to dabble a little bit are two different things. Like,
Totally.
where like the same thing what you just said with the internet and choosing not to use the internet. Like, all of us all together in here should be, exploring this stuff, because this stuff is happening, just like Jaden said, right? Like, we got to get used to what's going on with the crypto world. I think we all are. Everyone's kind of into it, at least dabbling into it a little bit. But first of all, obviously, it's got to be money that you can afford to lose. But at the same time, it's just like understanding it, being okay with it, learning on your spare time, stuff like that. But at the same time, it's not like, all right, Forex isn't working for me, I'm just going to jump right into this now and fully invest all my time into this, until you realize that you're not fully committing to this and you're going to move on to something else. This doesn't just happen in trading. This happens in the entrepreneurship world, where you go into one industry, you realize that you're not really putting that much into it. You don't want to look in the mirror and realize that. So you want to move on to another industry. You start blaming that industry. It happens all the time. And that's why most people fail. So
it's definitely hard to be like into it if you're still getting your strategy and everything down. Like, it's nice for me right now when I'm just waiting for candles to print. I can get on YouTube or research projects. Yeah. Which I think a lot of us are at that place.
Well, you're in that sweet spot right now too, where you've been trading 3 years now? You were trading a little bit longer than I was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, funny story, guys. Jaden, we're friends before, trading or anything like this. He's actually the one that like initially told me about Forex, and that I should be going to the mentor that we ended up learning from, our boy.
You were having some success in stocks prior, weren't you?
I was, yeah. But I didn't know what the Forex market was. I actually got involved with it from this company that was, it was a bot, basically. Some of you guys have heard the story, but it was a bot that would trade your money for you. And I was obviously enticed by this. I'm like, all right, I'll just put some money in there, see if it works. And realizing over time that it wasn't working. But even before that, I had to hop on the Zoom with some random person that was also involved with the company, that had to explain to me what a pip was, what a lot was, setting up my MetaTrader, all that stuff. But, eventually realizing that the bot wasn't working too well. Okay, let me explore this industry a little bit and understand it. And then I realized I love the economics of, the global economies instead of focusing on businesses. I mean, I like both. I'm really enticed by both, but just looking at interest rates and the way countries are handling their monetary policy, stuff like that, the way countries work, what the presidents are saying, what the prime ministers are saying, like, that was all very enticing to me. Not to mention a much bigger market as well. I forget where we were going with that, Jaden. Oh, that's right. So you're in that sweet spot where you've been trading for about like 3 years now. So you're able to just hop onto a chart and really understand where price is going to go. The only thing you need to focus on, and every trader needs to focus on throughout their entire career, never stops, is that risk management, making sure that they're managing risk the right way. But like, you have the time. Also, you have your own business, so you control your own time. That you can go into some of these spaces like NFTs, crypto, all this stuff, and really start to dive in and learn. And you're kind of our point man in here for all that, which is awesome.
Yeah, and I'm totally down to be that guy who, I mean, obviously I don't know everything, but I'm totally down to answer questions, everything. I just don't want you to be deceived by how much time I have. Like, I didn't spend too much time diving into it. Just a few videos will really get you primed in what you need to know about NFTs for sure.
No,
I'm not disagreeing with you. Don't take that.
I'm saying, like, I hope you don't get the impression I was saying like you're just diving into something else. Like, that's not.
No,
I think you're definitely different in that aspect, and you know that whole cycle. You know how people do that, and you're going to stop yourself from doing it. I'm saying anyone in general, and people that really have that habit of hopping from one thing to the other. This is a very easy market to just hop into, and kind of forget what Forex is. Forget like all the time that you've put into this, and all the focus that you've put into it. It gets dangerous if you can't control yourself.
Absolutely.
So that's
especially with the NFT world too. It's like that. Look, that shiny thing over there times 10, because there's a million different projects. Some of them have the shiniest, coolest looking art, but they're just totally rug pull scams. It's the Wild West out there for sure.
Oh yeah. I got, guys, I can't tell you how many times I get DMs on Instagram of someone wanting me to buy their NFT. I get at least 8 a day.
Like, yeah, me too. Discord's ridiculous.
Yeah, Discord,
because they know they scour all the the Discords and the Telegrams and stuff like that, with like in legit projects, and then they just spam everybody.
Yeah. And there's been a couple scams, hasn't there, already? Like well-known scams.
Oh yeah. The whole reason I brought all this up is because I know of it. If any of you guys were into it, I know of a drop tomorrow that will almost guarantee you double your money.
Let's hear it.
So the one that I was talking about, Minty Swap.
Okay.
Influencers like Snoop Dogg, and Snoop Dogg is probably one of the biggest influencers in the NFT market right now, because he's got like deals with Sandbox and stuff.
Okay.
And so he shouted out this company, and then they did a pre-sale last week, and I got in on the pre-sale. The price was $400, and it sold out within a few minutes, and immediately the price of the floor went to 1 Ethereum. So
wow.
So now prices are, the floors leveled out because they went quiet, and now they're just going to do the public drop tomorrow and release the rest of the NFTs. And then, so once those are released, nobody else can get them. And then they're going to do that burning option that I was talking about, which is going to even create more scarcity. But the utility behind these NFTs is like ones I haven't really seen before. And like, for example, there's 10 of them. 10 out of these 10,000 that if you were to pull one, they pay you $500 a month for life, and it increases by 100 until it caps out at 10 grand a month.
Wow.
So you can just see like the desirability behind that, owning an NFT or getting in on the drop and stuff. So it's just going to shoot a ton of liquidity into that project.
I have a question. Can you, it might sound like a noob question, but can you only buy NFTs with crypto?
Yes.
Okay. I was going to say, because that, if not, that should be a thing. Like, that would make crypto so much more valuable too.
Yeah, it's definitely, it definitely causes a lot of people to not be in the space, because one thing people aren't ready for is like gas fees. you know, with Ethereum, you want to buy an NFT off of OpenSea or Immutable X or wherever you buy them. And because you're using their thing, they're going to charge a gas fee for the miners. And that's usually like, it can be $100 to, you know, $1,000 depending on the size of the purchase. And I lost my train of thought. What was the question?
I was just asking if you can, you know, if you can only buy NFTs with crypto.
Oh yeah, and so the one that I was just talking about, I had to buy their native token, which is Minties, and also have Ethereum in my wallet for the gas fee. So 2 different coins in order to buy this NFT.
Wow.
So it can get complicated for sure.
Yeah, I mean the language alone,
Right?
you know, it definitely throws people off a little bit. Maybe just me. Maybe I'm not.
If you hear the word mint, it just means like the first time the NFT is brought to like the blockchain,
which makes
like
sense.
It
makes sense why it's mint. Huh. Yeah, you sent me that. Actually, let me bring that up. Hold on. Jaden actually sent us a website I bookmarked over here. Hold on. Of just like a glossary of some of these terms, stuff like that. If you guys want to dive into it. Where is it? Yeah, Jane, where'd you send that? Was that in crypto? Would you send it in the chat when we were on the?
It's called Alexandria.
That's right.
Yeah, just type in Alexandria crypto glossary or something.
Ocasio-Cortez?
Yeah.
Alexandria crypto?
I'm gonna send this link to the website of the NFT I was just talking about. You can explore it.
So this website right over here, I'll put this into the chat, is a whole glossary if you guys are looking to get into all this stuff. But again, just guys, remember, you guys are all adults, right? Just remember what I said. If you guys aren't fully committed to Forex right now, and you know this is your thing, this is your dream, this is what you're using as a vehicle to create that dream, right? And to create the time freedom and everything that you want. If you're not 100% committed, and you're the only one that knows the answer to that, if you're not 100% committed, I challenge you to recommit yourself to this game before you start diving into other things. Doesn't have to be crypto. You could be diving into real estate next, or diving into something else next, right? So just make sure that you fully commit yourself to this and get the most out of yourself with this first before you move on to something else. Because it's just a very common thing that the cycle happens all the time for entrepreneurs. In games.
That was funny that you brought that up now, because like I actually got my mortgage license like a couple months ago, and like I've been doing it, like been, you know, kind of learning. Pretty much it's all online, pretty much through the brokerage. But anyways, I've been you know, trying to put my time in there and do the trading and obviously working and stuff. And like I came to a point now where, you know, I had to kind of figure out, you know, not that you can't do both, but I know myself personally, I'm one of those guys that works better on having my focus towards, you know, a few things as opposed to multiple. And yeah, so I was just trying to just, you know, figuring out what to do. And like lately I've just been finding myself being pulled so much more to Forex, and I'm just like, I don't even think that I want to put the, you know, the time into doing the mortgages at right now anyways, because it's not something that I see like the Forex being, I see that being like my foundation, you know, to allow me to do other things. Whereas with the mortgages, I didn't really see that as a long-term thing. I kind of just saw it as, you know, a way to kind of make some, like a side hustle. And then quickly I found out, once I started like getting into it, like to me, that's not something that I want, like, I think for me to have the confidence to do mortgages on a regular basis, like I need to put the time in on a consistent daily basis. And with the amount of time I want to put into Forex, I'm just finding like this week, you know, I've trying to be on my stuff a lot more. And like, I just noticed, you know, like and it feels good to say like this week, I wouldn't even have had the time to, because of how much time I'm putting into Forex. So like, I've been trying to, I'm coming to that decision that I'm going to have to make, but it seems like it's just kind of being made for me just from like where I'm naturally starting to put more and wanting to put more of my time now. So it's just funny that, you know, I heard you say that like around this time too. It's pretty funny.
Dude, I love that you just brought that up, because that's first of all, that gives me a little bit more insight into, you know, what you're doing and what you're thinking, but also just what kind of life are you looking to have, right? Like, let's say you're trading full time and you don't have to worry about money. You don't have to worry about time. Time is all on your side. What kind of life are you looking to have? The most, you know, how can I put this? What's the word? Hectic, I guess. Like the most hectic life throughout the week, throughout the weekend. You know, no matter what, you're just like, you just have to understand, being a mortgage agent, and forget just being a mortgage agent, being a successful mortgage agent, those people put everything into it. I've been in many networking groups where like those guys, it's all they do. Same thing with real estate. And that's why they're so successful. Now, if you start focusing on Forex, mortgages, then also investing into real estate, then also doing this, your hands are in all these different things, and it's like you're not getting anything done. You're just going in circles. So you want, what you want to do in your mind, you want to have a fanatical approach to one thing. And if you notice, Ed Milet, Tony Robbins, any of these major successful people, to Elon Musk, all of them started with one thing, and then they started branching off and doing other things. So you master the one thing. Forex should be it. If that's your true passion, Forex should be your main thing. Once you become fanatical, once you become consistent, profitable, trusting yourself, number one, that you know you're going to be able to manage risk in the market. Once you get to that point and you're bringing in the money that you said you were going to be making in the beginning, then you start moving into other things. I don't know about being a mortgage agent, just because like it's going to be hard for you to knock on doors or for you to make calls and stuff like that when you're making the money that you are in Forex. I'm not going to lie. I don't want to, you know, tell you that you could go into mortgages. I'm just telling you, it's going to be very hard.
And like that's sorry to cut you off there. No, but I was just going to say that that's part of what led me to kind of, you know, naturally stepping away. Because when I think I had kind of some maybe not unrealistic, but my expectations, I don't think were aligned with exactly what I thought the outcome would be, you know, because it was one of those things that I was doing. You know, I was on a leave of absence from work, and I'm just, you know, I'm like, you know, I'm going to do my entrepreneurial stuff right now. And then I think I ended up, because I can overthink a ton of stuff, you know, and like this particular thing, I was like, you know what, I'm going to get my mortgage license. It's not going to cost me a whole lot of money, and at least it's going to put me in a position to get more income. But it was never something that I looked at as, like very quickly I found out I couldn't see myself wanting to do this on a full-time basis. Like, I'm not really that type of guy who tries to not who's comfortable, but I just don't like, I'm more of an introvert in terms of, you know, how I like to work behind the scenes as opposed to just being out putting myself out there. You know what I mean? And that's obviously a business where like 90% of it is probably just customer acquisition, where, like you said, it's knocking on doors, it's making the phone calls, it's doing all those sort of things. So from that standpoint alone, I kind of knew, no, like the way, if I do this, my way is going to be, I want to do it to help my family and friends, and just to do it like on a part-time basis. But then once I actually started getting into it, I was like, first, I don't have a whole lot of family and friends here that are in a position to buy properties right now. And second, if I'm going to be paying, because the fees are roughly like, they add up to about $3,000 a year. And I'm just like, do I really want to be putting $3,000 a year into some, to me right now, that's a lot of money, you know? So I'm like, do I want to be putting $3,000 into something that I'm being passive in, and I'm just kind of waiting for things to come to me? Or would I rather, you know, save that money, or put that money or invest that money in something that I am really passionate about, or in, you know, some sort of investment, instead of just, you know, just paying into fees, just kind of being passive about something that I know I'm not that passionate about. Like when I'm working on Forex, it doesn't even feel like work, you know, like I'm just journaling or doing whatever. It doesn't feel like work. But when I'm doing the mortgages, it very, very, very much feels like something I have to force myself to do.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm kind of like, you know, naturally, just especially lately, I've just been thinking, like, for example, I think yesterday I was working like 11:30 to 5:30. I was doing my, you know, the trading and my journaling before work, and then after work I wanted to put a couple more hours in and review my stuff. And I was just like, you know, for me, if I wanted to do mortgages, like I know I'm gonna have to put in at least at a bare minimum a couple hours a day, and I wouldn't even, like, that's gonna take away time from something that I can actually see being my foundation. So it's kind of just showing itself to me without me, like I've been thinking about it a lot, but it's kind of just, I'm just noticing it, you know, like I think I'm being pulled naturally just much more in one direction.
Well, first of all, I'm glad you realize that now. Like that, you're at a major advantage right now because you just realized that before you started putting all this time and money into it. A couple of things I just want to unpack there. Before I get into that, the main thing is you just want to burn the bridges right now and completely commit to one thing. And, you know, I already went over that, but like, I can't stress that enough. Focus on this one thing because you have work, right? You have a job. When you're off that job, you're working 8 to 10 hours a day. When you're off that job, it's very hard to put work in on your own thing, your own business. When you get home from that job, it's hard enough as it is. But to be having to do that with 2 other businesses, like imagine trying to do that. You're going to drive yourself nuts. But the one thing I will challenge you to do, though, because you did say you're uncomfortable in that setting, and that's good that you realize that, where you know you don't want to be knocking on doors, you're more of an introvert, stuff like that. Gio, I'll see you later, buddy. I don't know if he already left. It's good that you realize that right now. So right now, what you want to do is focus on Forex, put everything into Forex, and then eventually you want to start growing out of that uncomfort. Right. Eventually, when you're, let's say you're investing in real estate or doing something like that, get out of that comfort zone where like you don't want to talk to people or do anything like that. Because I highly recommend the number one skill anybody can have is persuasion, and being able to persuade somebody into doing something that's right for them. Right. Obviously, the opposite is doing something that's wrong for them, and that's a scumbag. That's not a salesman. But what I'm saying is being able to, you know, persuade somebody on your ideas, you as a person in a interview, you to your family members about an idea that you have, you to your wife about what you guys should do with the house. Like persuasion is the number one skill anybody can have, and being a people person and being able to communicate with people, there's nothing like it, because you are going to create relationships that are going to last a lifetime, that you're going to gain from getting better at this craft, and that's communication. But you're always one decision, you're always one relationship, you're always one idea from changing your entire life. Just keep that in mind. You're always one relationship from your entire life changing. I'd like to think that that's our relationship, right? So that's something that you just got to keep in mind, where that it's something that you can work at, getting better and better at communicating and speaking to people and conversing with them.
And yeah, to your point, Steph, sorry to cut you off there, but I was just gonna say, and to your point, it's not, to be honest, like I'm not uncomfortable. I guess discomfort is the wrong word, because it's not like I'm actually very comfortable talking.
You seem like it.
Yeah, no, like making small talk and stuff like that's not, like, that is something I'm comfortable with. Yeah, I guess it's just like if I had to choose, if I had to choose between a business like that, a way to make money, or a business where I can be behind the scenes and I can still talk to, basically just being in a business where I'm forced to have to build relationships out of thin air on a regular daily, like that's 90% of the job.
Living?
Yeah, to make a living. Yeah,
that and you have to rely on people's decisions.
Exactly.
For you to I get that.
And it's not that I don't, yeah, and it's not that I don't think I could do it, to be honest. I think I could. I just don't think I'd be happy doing it. But also to your point about, you know, the persuasion and communication, like that's one of the reasons I got a sales job right now. I'm working at the Source, and it's commission based too. And I got one of the reasons I wanted to get that job was to just to help me develop those skills more, because like we sell, like, you know, at the Source we work with Bell. Bell actually owns the Source, so we sell like home services, TV, home phone, and internet at the Source. So that's one of the reasons why I saw the value in getting that job, because I can still make sure that I'm, you know, enhancing those persuasion skills that you're talking about. So no, 100%. I think that's a must. I think it's just an invaluable skill for anyone to have.
Miles, is the commission uncapped?
Yeah, it's uncapped commission, I believe.
So that just proves my point even more. You have two things that you're focusing on now, right? You have trading and you have this. So like going to mortgages too is just going to be crazy. Like what you should be focusing on right now is obviously Forex. This is your business, but at the same time, you know, any kind of free time you have, learn about persuasion, learn about, you know, record your phone calls, role play with people in the office. You want to get because in the sales game, it's very tricky, especially in the beginning, because you're going to get denied a lot. And that's the thick skin that you're going to have. And I'm sure you've been through that already. But the main thing is for you, being able to record your conversations, being able to
it's actually notes. all in person. Like it's just like
okay. It's all in person. So you're writing notes after these meetings of like different things that you've said, because guess what? At a certain point, the more notes you write, the more you study yourself, the more you work on your craft with sales, the better you're going to be getting, because you keep writing these notes down. Eventually, you're going to be able to predict what the other person's going to say. Any kind of rebuttal that they have, you're going to be able to predict anything that they have to say, as far as like, I don't have the money, or, you know, anything like that. You're going to be able to rebuttal that. You're going to be able to work back and help them understand why they need a bell or why they need whatever it is that you guys are selling, you know? So that's the second thing that you should be working on too. While you're at the office, you put everything into it while you're at the office. And then when you get home, you're putting everything into Forex. Right. And then obviously, if you have some free time, you're watching some YouTube videos on how to sell, how to communicate, how to persuade. But also at the same time, you're doing that for trading as well. But these are two great places to start. You know Raquel, right?
Yeah.
What did Raquel start doing before he was doing trading?
I think he was at the mines. No,
he was at the mines, but what was he doing right after that?
Was it door to door?
He had a sales office. He was doing something similar to what we were doing in Asbury. So, you know, what he was able to do is he created a team. He got good at sales. I remember him saying he went home and cried on the bench multiple times because he kept getting denied and he wasn't good for trading. He had the stutter or something like that. And all of a sudden he just got better and better, built a team. And then he was at the office trading because he found out what trading was, and he'd be at the office while everyone's out door knocking and stuff, his whole team. And he just got really good at that, sold the office, sold the company, and went on to trade full time. But like there's different steps. And how old are you again, Miles?
25.
25. Dude, you're in the middle of your 20s. Your 20s are really to figure out what you want to do. Your 30s are really where you start to enjoy the fruits of your labor a little bit, traditionally. But screw that. You got five years in your 20s. Let's get you to full-time trading by next year, and have you cranking away. Yeah, 25, still young, dude.
That's my goal next year. Yeah, it's funny that it's funny. A lot of the stuff that I'm thinking, like I feel like we're on the same page a lot of the time, just like
100%.
naturally.
That's why you're in here, dude. We clicked on the Zoom, right?
Yeah.
That's why I wanted you in here. But the thing is, like, all you guys, this goes for all you guys. You guys can turn everything around today just by managing risk. Because if you can't trust yourself with managing risk, you are not going to be able to trust yourself to increase your lot size, to be able to trade throughout, you know, whenever you want, stuff like that. Looks like we're pushing up. So again, we're probably going to be off the stream because we'll probably end around 9. But this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that break above this resistance right here. Right? A clean close above this area. If you look at it on the 4 hour. That's a little bit. This is a hard rejection, dude. This 4 hour candle just flipped bullish, right? It is 8:54, so the 4 hour candle is about to close. The next candle creates a bottom wick past the high. Maybe we could continue right back up, but I think a safer buy will be above this level right here. It's a psychological number of 151,600 or 150,600 right here. Wait for that break above that level, and you got a clean move. Clean moves over here to the left that you could take this right back up. But again, like, you don't have to trade every single day. You don't have to trade every session. If anyone knows that, it's Gio, who just left. Gio's been, since he's been in this group, he's only traded GJ at one time of the day, and he's completely disciplined with that. Like, I'm very impressed with Gio's discipline, because, you know, we've been at this group since we're almost at a year now. We opened January 28th, and the entire time he's only been trading GJ. Me personally, I think we should have two pairs. He does look at gold, but he doesn't trade it. He just sticks to GJ, and he's completely content not taking a trade every single day. He's completely at ease with that, because he knows his skill. He knows how good he is as far as like being disciplined and all that stuff. And he knows that he can wait for that setup that he's looking for. So Gary, I'm an old man. Gary has 3 pairs, GJ, GU, and gold. That's completely fine. If you're disciplined enough to have 3 pairs, the only thing, the reason why I left 3 pairs, now I'm only at 2. I had EJ as well. I left 3 pairs because there's going to be a lot of times with 3 pairs that you have setups on 2 of them that you like, and you're trying to figure out which ones you want to trade. Right? You're going back and forth. You got GJ and GU. Yeah, let's say for Gary, you have GJ and GU, trying to figure out which one you want to trade. You're going back and forth. Sometimes you end up entering both of them, and you're just all over the place. You don't want to be like that. You don't want to be scrambled like that. So if you have 2 pairs, you have one main pair that you back test, you're super well versed in that pair, but then you have that second pair that, in case that one pair is ranging for the week, you have that second pair that you could be playing. If both of them are ranging for the week, you're just not really trading that much, and that's fine. You're getting better. You're developing your discipline. You're developing that muscle. I mark them both up and look for the cleaner setup and focus on that pair for the day. That's perfect. That's perfect. And if you're disciplined enough to stay at a 2 at the same time, then you'll be good with that. Still have to work on that. No need to take a trade every single day. Absolutely, dude. Different people have different personalities, right, Giovanni? So you're a little bit antsy. Like, you want to be in the trade. I'm not saying you're antsy. I'm saying your trading style, like, you just want to be trading, and that's very natural, because when we're staring at a chart for 3 hours and not taking a trade, sometimes that could get frustrating. I get it. But the ability to keep yourself back from just kind of taking a trade in this, when like we're like, all right, we missed this move, right? A lot of you guys missed this move. I unfortunately wasn't awake for this move. And then you got this move right over here, but at the same time, price is ranging. Price is ranging on the higher time frames over here. You don't have to be trading in this. You could be getting these moves. Because guess what? You try trading in this, and sometimes you'll end up losing a trade. Statistically, you're looking at probabilities, right? You'll end up losing a lot of the trades that you take in here, probability-wise, right? There's a high probability that you lose most of the trades that you take in a range like this. So once it breaks out of that range, you take the winner, but then you end up break even, or maybe a little bit in profit. But if you waited, you'd be completely in profit, and you wouldn't have taken that losing trade. So you don't have to be trading every single day. That's something, again, along with risk management, which is a big theme of ours, we can focus on not taking a trade every single day. I think I lead by example when it comes to that, and you guys see me. If I don't like something, I'm not just completely blindly entering. You never see me doing that. If I'm not enticed by it, if I'm not, turned on by by the setups, I'm not gonna take it. I'm just gonna sit back. I'll journal it if I miss a trade, but I sit back and I wait for my setups. But with that being said, let's plot out a few things that we could be possibly taking. I think I already just pointed this out with GJ over here. This could be that higher low over here that we're looking at over here on the 1 hour, the 30-minute, where we ended up tapping into this area one more time before continuing right back up. But again, we're still in this bearish trend over here. And remember what happened over here. We kind of just consolidated over here until tapping into the trend line again and then just dropping. So could we be consolidating over here or possibly make this move up where we just grab liquidity over here? I like this setup over here for price kind of exiting this area and continuing up to fill this wick and continuing up. But could we get something like this? Price tapping into this area one more time, kind of correcting this wick right here, and then continuing right back down and creating even a newer low below 149. Let's say GDP comes out bad and prices drops, but prices are gonna come all the way up here with that GDP on Friday. It's gonna, we'll be somewhere over here, but let's see what we end up getting. But I could definitely see something like this happening, or we just continue right through here and mirror this move right back up to this move. We correct this move. So there's multiple things that could happen. I do like this rejection over here. I see this a lot. We could very well be rejecting this level up here, 149, 149, 300. As you guys know, and what we've been looking at is 149, 300. If you draw a zone right here, 300, 400 has always been a very significant level. Obviously, we have 149 flat psychological level that price has been tapping off of. But right over here, you have all these candle body closes and these rejections over here. Now we just get another rejection of that level. 149, 300 to 400, anywhere in this level right over here. So we just tap this level. We just grab liquidity and flip bullish on the 4 hour. That's a big deal. So could we get a fill of this wick if the next candle creates a bottom wick past the high of that candle continues up? We could get that. So that's what we're looking for over here on GJ. 1 hour candle just closed below this level, closed right at this resistance right over here. So wait for a close above this level with a clean move to the left and a nice range that you could take this. About 60 pips in here. This is the range I'm looking to trade. These are the ranges I'm looking to trade. Not in here. Not worth it. It's a big no-no. And when it comes to gold, don't even bother. There's been multiple opportunities for us to take a trade off of 1764. Actually, no opportunities really. But what I'm saying is price bouncing off this level multiple times over here, and it just doesn't want to exit the area. Just doesn't want to exit this area. Maybe because we're waiting for CPI to come out on Friday. So that's probably why we're still ranging over here. But this is the daily. These daily candles have been side by side for, at least a week. Since November 30th over here. We've been side by side, rejecting multiple times. You get a candle like this, closing like an engulfing candle right there, thinking that we're going to continue right back up. We passed the high of that candle. It looks like we're going to drive up. No, this candle rejects that area. This candle ends up closing bullish. Okay, maybe we're going to start coming up again. No, wait a minute. We just tapped into that area and flipped bullish, bearish again. So it's just a mess. Even my arrows are a mess. Again, the 4 hour, everything's just side by side. There's no clear direction. So just stay out of this. Wait for price to break these levels over here. Wait for price to maybe break 1760, this level that we've been talking about, demand zone. Wait for us to break it. Gets a little bit more of a mess over here, but once we break 1750, the major range that we've been in, once we break 1750, get some cleaner moves over here that you could be taking. All right, and then we continue right back down to 1680. That's if Powell remains hawkish and he actually does start increasing interest rates and tapering.
You want to break down one of my pairs?
Yeah, of course. Which one?
USD CHF.
CHF. Safe havens. Check it out. All right. So looks like we've already broken this down. Get some charts over here. All right. So this is a very rangy pair on the higher time frames over here. Like these candles are all side by side, but we are bouncing off the demand zone down here. Right? You got this support, price bouncing off multiple times. So that's a nice strong support. It looks like we are in, overall this downtrend over here from this range. Right? But we're also creating these higher lows over here. So price bouncing off of 87.4 right down here and just kind of creating these higher lows, but also lower highs. So we're just kind of ranging in here. The previous monthly candle ended up closing bullish over here with a bottom wick, actually ended up passing the low this previous candle, but it has a potential wick to fill. We could be coming up to create a new high up here and testing this level right here. Let's look to the left. Yeah, multiple rejections at that level too. So we could be coming up there to creating a bottom wick and pushing up, especially if, like I said, Powell's going to start increasing interest rates or tapering. You're going to see this thing drive up and probably fill that wick. I don't know if he's going to do it this month, but eventually we could continue right back up to that resistance. Looking at the weekly, we have this support right down here, and we're kind of sitting in this range right here. Just everything sideways. It's a tough pair to trade, to be honest. But what I do like, and this is the higher time frames. Pay attention to this candle right here. This is a bullish big belt. This candle opened bullish, but opened up multiple pips below the close of this bearish candle right here, right? And when you get that, it's in such a strong candle too, and it passed the high of that candle. When you get that, and if this closes the way it does by the end of the week, then this candle could be a bullish big belt. You'll see the next candle starting to push up. Let's say if it closes right here, get that bottom wick, this candle starts to drive right back up when you get a bullish big belt like that. If you guys ever read Naked Forex, you'll know what I'm talking about. So looking at the daily right now, looks like we're getting a resistance formed right here. Price kind of bouncing off this level, previous resistance over here, right now forming a resistance. Everything's sideways on this thing. But again, could we be, this is a very strong candle right here. Could we be coming down to retest this level anywhere in here?
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, like some kind of liquidity grab right here, hold the support, and then continue right back up to drive up and fill that wick and continue up. Like this, I'm sure was from Powell. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see if we come down and hold support right in here. That's the daily. Looking at the 4 hour. Yeah, it's a very critical zone right here that you guys want to pay attention to. All this consolidation, we exited, created this high up here, kind of consolidated a little bit, but now we're coming right back into this area. I would just be aware of that. You want to break down some crypto? Okay, we can do that too.
So I got in on a sell on the retest of that top zone right there.
I was just looking at that. I do like that. We got an engulfing candle past the low of this candle. You see how like we're going through all these time frames where the weekly we're bullish, the daily we're bearish, the 4 hour we're bullish. It's it gets a little crazy on these, but nevertheless, strong bearish candle. I can see us retesting this area and then coming right back down into here. So we come up into here, and then we start consolidating a little bit in here until maybe we react to it and continue up, or we start breaking through. You know, that could very well happen. Just keep in mind, it's a very strong zone right here. Very strong area. This is the higher time frames. This isn't the lower time frames. So we got a strong bearish candle closing out of this consolidation over here. Right, we had this previous support. Could this candle, I don't really know how this pair moves too much. Are there opportunities for impulse entries, Jaden?
Yeah, it's slow.
Yeah, it is slow. Kind of like UJ. Could this candle, if we get some volume around this time, could this candle be creating that top wick and passing the low of that candle to continue right back down? Only thing is you're getting into this area of all these wicks over here. So just keep in mind that once we start getting into this area, we may be consolidating a little bit. This candle's flipping bearish over here. Look at the 30-minute. 30-minute looks good too. This thing should be driving down into this area. It wants to tap into it. See all these wicks? Are you in this right now?
Yes.
All right, cool. 30-minute EMA, 200 EMA over here is holding some sort of support. May have been above it, but don't pay too much attention to that. It's only a lagging indicator.
I'm glad you brought that support to my attention though.
What, right here?
Yeah.
See, that's again, guys, that's why we send charts, and that's why we like break down different pairs. Like, even if it's not me, if it's someone else in the group, like send a chart to them and see what they think. And you're gonna get a different perspective and like, all right, wait a minute. Maybe, you know, I should be looking out for that. Or, oh, wait a minute, I didn't see that. Thanks for bringing it to my attention. You know, like it's that's where you get a lot of your skill from is from just other people. Don't let other people's like strategies and all that screw you up. Just, you know, if they have a word that you value, then ask them.
It's teamwork, baby.
Yes, sir, baby. That's how we're all gonna succeed. It's just everyone just working together, showing up every single day, sending charts, discussing different pairs, so on and so forth. Let's check out Giovanni's real quick. This will be the last one because it's already 9/11. SHR USDT. Which one, Giovanni? Second one? Let's get the
First
together.
one.
First
The
one?
second one.
Second one?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Yeah, not much history on here, but let's see. There we have the support right down here that we've been holding, but we have a wick that we could possibly fill. It's a hard rejection over here. And again, we're at a hard demand zone right over here. So what is this coin, Giovanni? What are some of the benefits of it and all that good stuff?
That's the share token.
The what token?
Share token.
Share token. Okay, so and what is that again?
That's an altcoin.
Okay. Is there any like benefit kind of like Ethereum has, or is there anything?
Yeah. It rolls with Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Okay. All right, cool. So like whatever
you can probably see a possible pump on this coin.
Yeah, especially from this area down here.
Mm-hmm.
This whole area. Just kind of like bouncing off of it. Like we could probably fill that wick.
That's what I'm waiting for.
Problem is some of these wicks didn't get filled till later. So could we end up, every time we actually end up entering this area down here, we end up consolidating for a while before we spike up, right? We came right back down to that area, created this wick over here, and we filled it. This same thing right here. So there's a pattern with this pair that you guys could watch.
It does like a triangle
Yeah. Yeah, you
or a
have
flag.
you have this hard rejection wick right up here. I guess this is when the coin started. And price just kind of consolidated in here for, multiple weeks before we ended up filling that wick. And look at this. We ended up filling this wick perfectly with this candle right here. And then we ended up rejecting, right? So then once we created these historical highs up here for this pair, came right back down to this level, and then we started consolidating. We printed a wick up that we could fill, and then we consolidated a little bit more for a couple more weeks before we made that rocket up that filled that wick and continued right back up. And then we rejected. But now we're in this area again. We just printed that wick again. So could we be consolidating a little bit in here before coming right back up? I could see it. Giovanni, what are some of these spikes from? Is it like, was there any news that kind of came out that moved this thing up?
Yeah, the CEO tweeted that something was coming, so a lot of buyers started to the market.
So this is the one that you sent into here. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm still in it. I'm in it right now. I'm buying. I keep dumping in money now because it's really low.
Okay.
So what I'm waiting for is I'm waiting for that 100% income, and then I'm gonna cash out.
Okay.
This altcoin, because you can't really hold these altcoins for that long.
You like our analysis on Slack?
Yep.
I'll break down on Slack. Yeah, you sent something into crypto here. So this is the CEO. Just wanted to give you all a quick update. We're working on it as we speak. There might be something around the corner, so keep an eye out. All right, so maybe that's what's going to cause that spike and fill that wick. But again, pay attention to the patterns. We consolidate a little bit for a little bit before we end up making that run up. Looking at the daily over here, get a little messy. But we are holding support over here. We just tapped into it with this wick, and then we've just been kind of consolidating over here again. We have been in this bearish trend. And we have this resistance right here. All right, Jaden. Up, go to your left. So I think safer buys will be above this level right over here, right? Once we close above that level, you'll be able to get in, some safer buys to continue right back up to this level up here.
Exactly.
5 cents?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'll
So
nice.
Based on these lower time frames or based on the daily candles over here, you really don't even need to go down to the lower time frames on this. I would just wait for a break of 2.5 cents right over here and taking this right up to 5 cents, which is kind of like a psychological range.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for, a wholesome number.
Yeah, 100%. So I would wait for dumping off. I mean, it's sick that we are holding this support, and we also are kind of creating these higher lows over here too, right? Even though we're sitting in this demand zone, you see the buyer pressure. We never break the previous lows. So this is a higher low. This low down here is lower than this one. This one is lower than this one, right? So we could be driving up from here. But just keep in mind, you just want to wait for a clean break of this area where you could take price up from here. You get the demand zone. Take anything from in here, and this will be your move up. And this is where you dump all your money in. Not all of it. But cool, man. Yo, I like this, guys. Keep sending me pairs. We'll break them down. We'll see how. That's how you get better at technical analysis and really trusting your analysis with where you think price is going to go on some of these pairs. But send your charts. What you're thinking. Then we break them down. We'll break down some of our own trades in the group Trello as well. So continue to send them in there. I have to break down one trade that I took on Monday. The win that we got on Monday, I believe it was. I got to break that down and put that into the group Trello. But besides that, I think I'm all caught up. Just got to upload them to Instagram. But with that being said, guys, it's 9:19. Again, I apologize for this morning. No excuse. That's on me, right? So with that being said, guys, have a great day. I'll see you tonight for the Asian breakdown. And with that said, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Sounds good. Have a good one, everyone.
You too, guys.
Hey, guys.
You too, guys. Get the most out of your day, all right?
Yeah, you too. Bye.
That's it.